My personal opinion, and that matters more than both of your guys's, is that
Obviously.
Brock Purdy ain't good. Okay, one.
Hmm.
Second, Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Ashwagandha or Alaska, whatever he was
Alaska.
saying, whatever you were saying, he takes. It's just not working for him. Okay, I think that
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers is just if he. My thing is, if he could do it with Gary Wilson, I believe that he could do it with Devontae Adams. I get the chemistry, right?
What
But the
about
dude's
both of them?
old, Brad.
What
The dude's
about both
old.
of
Go to
them?
the Saints, man. If you want a quarterback that can actually still do it, that's Derek Carr.
What? Now you're just trying to piss me off. Now you're just trying to piss me off. Shut the hell up, man. Start talking real. Start talking real. That's just fucking
I
stupid. And welcome back to another episode of your favorite couch potatoes. I am your host, Jay Cubs, joined as always by Feisty and Big Country. And boy, what another weekend of football. Crazy ass weekend of football. And I can't wait to get into it. But as you guys know, we always start out with the sports news around the world. So let's talk about it. Guess who? Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year. Holy shit. Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? Boy, I mean, honestly, what a season. I have a few stats here I just wanted to read off. She recorded the most assists in a single season, most assists in a single game, fastest player to 300 career assists, most assists per game by a rookie, third player to average 8 assists per game in a single season, youngest player to lead the league in assists per game, became the first player to lead the league in assists and 3-point made per game, made 122 threes, the second most all time by a rookie, first rookie to score a triple double, ranked first in points per game and assists per game, on and on and on and on. What a hell of a season for Caitlin Clark. And yeah, of course, she takes this, especially with the injury to Angel Reese late. No doubt that Caitlin Clark was going to be the rookie of the year.
It was truly a Caitlin Clark show, and she deserves it, man. I mean, we've talked about it all season long, where we're like, she's putting the spotlight on the sport and showing why it can be great if you get great players like her, or once in a lifetime player to change that. And so, good for her. Like you said, I think Angel Reese would have had an opportunity at it too. But when you kind of break all the records in one season, and it's your rookie season, I don't know if Angel Reese would have had any chance at
Yeah,
it.
I
So
think she still would have won. I
yeah,
think so too. Well, you know who did win? Can't believe you went against your girl, man. Can't believe it. And you get to maybe get your ass clipped yet again. The New York Liberty killed the Las Vegas Aces 3-1, not even close. Advanced to the WNBA Finals, which the Sun and Lynx are actually playing as we speak to see who gets to join the New York Liberty. So, buddy, how could you doubt Sabrina Ionescu, man?
she goes by Kelsey Plum. Nah, just kidding. I can't do it. No, man. I don't know how I doubted them. I just thought that maybe the Aces had just way more power. With Kelsey Plum and all just I thought they had an overall great team. Asia Wilson, obviously, like we talked about before. Kate Martin, like I just thought that they had a better team overall, and I didn't think that they had the chance, not or that they didn't have a chance to go and make this a good run. And so for them to get beat 3-1, I think something might be happening over there, maybe. So we'll have to see on that. But great run by the Aces. I think that they were gonna try to go for a 3P, if I'm not wrong.
I think so. Yeah.
So all good stories must come to an end, and so now it's the Miss Inesco the story to kind of tell and to continue this run. So either way, I'm happy for both teams. Like I said, I think I lean more towards the Aces because of Kelsey Plum.
Well, I forget about Brianna Stewart's over there in New York too now.
Yeah,
So they definitely got a great 1-2 punch, and they're looking dangerous. It might be their year.
yeah. So we'll see who ends up and I think that they honestly will take it all the way because I don't think the two teams that are playing right now, the Suns and Lynx, I don't think they have as much firepower as those two do. Especially, it just feels like a Stockton and Malone kind of thing with
Yeah.
Sabrina and Brianna, and so it's might be a game over before it even starts. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Moving on, actually, this is the best news. I don't know how I could have. I'm just kidding. I would never. It's been a while. I feel like we haven't talked about it in a while. So let me get excited real quick. The NBA is finally back.
Yes, sir.
As we this week it's been preseason, so don't get too excited. But it's been awesome to see. A lot of the teams have been kicking off. OKC won their first game against the Spurs. And then the big news, baby, and like I said, it's been a while. Daddy Braun, Mini Bronny. They took the court finally together last night, and it was a surreal moment, man. Like to see that happen, a kid, your own kid, going in and oh man, I literally was like, this is nuts. And like all the athletes that were tweeting at it, all the people that were tweeting at it, the funniest one that came out of it was Deion Sanders. I don't know if you guys saw that. He goes, I might have to come out of retirement so I can play with my sons too. This is unreal. And I was like,
What
don't
with
do
eight
that.
toes that he's got now? I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah, so this is like one of the craziest things that I've just in real life to see happen, to be able to see the legacy of LeBron and now to be able to carry it through. There were questions on Bronny and people saying, is he ready to go pro? Is he doing it for his dad? But like today came out with I forgot his name, but Clutch Sports, the CEO of uh
Rich Paul.
Rich Paul, he came out and today said Bronny wanted to do it. It was his choice and now they get to share on the court and he gets to learn from the greatest basketball player of all time. So super
Michael Jordan's
exciting.
with the Lakers now?
Who?
Michael Jordan?
Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't have
Just had
time
to
for
get
a
it going.
3 hour
Just had to get it
discussion.
going.
Nope. I'm better about it now.
Hey, the Jazz are undefeated too, so don't forget to mention that. That's
And
definitely
there's
the only thing I'll be able to say.
that.
No, Jazz are looking pretty good. Our rookie Cody Williams, Jalen Williams' brother, he's looking pretty
Yo.
good to start. So that's exciting to see. And then yeah, it's a pretty surreal moment. I saw the like pictures side by side of when Bronny was on the bench with LeBron and when in like 2000 whatever it was when he was just a little kid, and then them two on the bench together today. It's pretty crazy. I hope that they'll do right by him. I think did is it been confirmed that he'll play in the G League? Both? I think I've
It
heard
hasn't been
both.
confirmed yet. I know that his intention is to play in the league, but he's also said he's open to both. I think regardless where he goes, he needs to develop.
Hmm.
He's just not quite there. He's just a 19-year-old dude. He like just trying to learn the game of basketball and having the greatest NBA player being your dad kind of puts a lot of pressure. So
Yep,
still needs room to grow for sure.
I agree 100%. I think he should play in the G League for sure a lot this season just to start out. I know you want to get on the court with your dad and everything, but then that'll be a cool moment. But just for him in general, I think a lot of G League time will be good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it was cool to see because LeBron had of course, chase down block, and Bronny had a chase down block too. And so it's just cool to see how he's basically mimicking everything he did. And so I'm excited
Mhm.
for him. Like you said, I hope it definitely stays, they do right by him and let him develop instead of pressuring him into the next, phase of this NBA. So, but that's always exciting. We'll definitely be bringing more Daddy Braun stories finally. You know me, I always get excited, but let's get excited about something else. I mean, this has been long overdue. I feel so bad for this guy, Lonzo Ball. He is officially going to be playing a game since 2021, 2022 season. So
Yeah.
he's scheduled. He won't play this game against the Cavs, but he's scheduled to play the next game, this next preseason game that they have. So, oh my gosh, man, this guy went through so much. I honestly think he is a great player when healthy. He has just a great court vision and He's able to make plays like no other. Same thing with Lonzo Ball, or I mean Lamelo Ball, but I feel like Lonzo Ball just has a little bit more of a knowledge of the game better, and so it'd be awesome to see him playing again with the Chicago Bulls, and good for Chicago for staying with him. I know what the I think we talked about this at the beginning of last season, and I said this guy is the biggest scam. And then once I learned about his
Hmm.
story of what was going on and all the doctors that kind of screwed up his injury, surgery and stuff, it kind of made me sad and just feel really bad for him. I'm excited. I hope he does really well and he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's been can't believe that's 3 years I think since he's touched an NBA floor. I saw a picture of like Halliburton was still with the Kings.
Yeah,
Porzingis was with the Mavs. Like there was all these crazy how long it's been since Ball's been on the court. And yeah, I think he's more of a pure passer than Lamelo is. I think Lamelo's
yeah,
got a little more talent, but like you said, knowledge of the game and yeah, just like a pure point guard. I think Lonzo's really good and really good on the defensive end as well. So it's going to be exciting. Hopefully, he just stays healthy, man, and he has a good little comeback. He even said that like there's already a plan. He'll be on a minutes restriction throughout the season. Won't play any back to back stuff like that. They're going to take it very careful, which I think is smart. So can't believe it because when he came out, there was all the Lavar Ball stuff, and
yeah.
it was all crazy. So I feel like not a lot of people liked him, but I feel like everybody's on Lonzo's side these days and is excited to see him back on the court.
It definitely has changed my mind. So I'm excited for him to go through this whole process again and bring that hype to him because he did sign a long contract with the Bulls, and I think they are ready to get their money's worth. And hopefully he shows that. Like I think he's a great player, great defensive menace. He's also great at just facilitating your offense, and he could be a good offensive threat. He can get you 15, 20 points when healthy. So it should be a good story to watch throughout the NBA season this year. I'm really excited for him.
Me too, Miller. Me too.
So, anyways, with all that good news, let's get into this week's freaking NC.
Let's do it.
Hey, college football, baby. Holy crap. Well, before we get into that, because you guys know how excited I am, I'm gonna be talking a lot of shit this week. A lot.
You had a good little week there in college football.
Oh, I'm so excited. But before we get into that, let's talk about a big news that just hit today. NCAA is shortening their transfer portal from 45 days to 30 days for college football and also men's basketball. Um, yeah, this is big news. I'm excited for it. And I think you said like to explain this a little bit, it means that they can only be in the transfer portal for 30 days instead of 45 days. That's correct, right?
Yep, that's right. I think I read that there's a little bit less. So the spring portal window stays open. There's a winter one after, I can't remember if it's bowl games or conference
Yeah,
games or something like that. But yeah, just shorten it. And what they said, trying to build that roster stability and, stability for the players a little bit better so that there's just less of a window for all that change to happen,
yeah,
which I think the three of us, I would say, like, are fans of this. As I know I am, because that's what we've been losing with college football, with all the transfers, with everything changing, and the whole red shirt things now, all this stuff. So I love that we'll have a little bit more. It's not like the transfer portal's done. It just means people got to make decisions quicker, and if they don't, then they're staying with their team. So I think it's good. It's not like it's going to fix everything, but it's good for the NCAA.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it's just, I mean, they got to do, it's a good thing, but I'd say the only thing is that they got to do more. They can't
Yeah.
yep,
just leave it at this. You know what I mean? Of course, it's going to shorten it. It's going to make people have to make decisions faster. With how the portal's going now and with all the, money that's getting tossed out there and thrown around. I mean, it's just, it,
yep.
it makes it better with shortening it, but I feel like they can do a lot more to try to stop it from becoming a free agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my biggest worry, honestly, is that it was going to become a free agency type of deal because, like we talked about last week, and I talk about it every week, these NIL deals. You gotta have $1 million to get a really good quarterback, $1 million to get a good wide receiver. Like it's just insane to me. And like you said, they just need to do more to get that under control so it doesn't turn into the NFL. But a feel good story is that like players like that running back from Ohio State, he turned down more money to stay where he's at. Or not Ohio State, I'm so sorry. Boise State. Gentry?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Genty.
freaking his story is amazing. If you guys haven't, viewers or you guys haven't looked at his story, go look up, man. He has an amazing story of like he got offered all these millions of dollars to come to these schools, but he's like, no, I want to play where I have an opportunity and where I believe in. So that's awesome. And now he's a top Heisman. So that's just a good story of like somebody who's not taking the NIL deal or trying to transfer. But this transfer portal thing has been way out of control ever since they took out the 1 year of sitting out before you can play. So, like you said, Wes, hopefully they continue to work on this to make it better and more um, strict towards teams and schools.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. Like you say, him staying with Boise State, and like proving himself, like saying I want to be the guy is like proven himself, and
Yep.
now he's killing it. Like you said, top Heisman candidate. So that's awesome. If he goes to, I don't know what he got offered, but Ohio State, Bama, whatever, and say maybe he plays, but he's not going to be, the clear number one workhorse guy for the team. So it's pretty cool for him and an example of how that could work out. So
I'll take him at the Cowboys, baby, as our pick and the first round
you know
pick.
who you'd be perfect with.
No, not again.
Him and Andre. Oh boy! Before we get into that, let's get into the AP poll. So number one, we have a new number one again. Texas up one, even though they were idle this week, no game. So Texas Longhorns, like you said, Feist, hook them. They're back up to one, and then the Ohio State Buckeyes, no surprises. Well, maybe go up to number two. It's
Oof.
weird. Something seems off here, but they defeated Iowa 35-7. Nobody's surprised about that score.
Wait,
No,
there's a team missing at the number one. That's weird.
somebody's missing, but we'll have to figure that out as we go down. I know there's
Yeah.
somebody that is not missing in the top three again.
Ooh, go Ducks, baby! Back at number three, baby, where we started originally. I'm still not convinced, to be honest with you guys. I really am not convinced. If we belong in that
Belong.
top five. I thought that maybe the fifth spot would have been a good spot for them, but there was a lot of change that happened this week to where they moved up to the third spot. I loved the game. I thought that they had a little bit more cohesive again, where the O line was moving the ball. Our defense looked a little bit better. They shut them out until well, they had 3 points and then they had scored the touchdown in the fourth quarter or whatnot. But like we looked good. We're starting to finally feel the chemistry going. What's his Dylan Gabriel? Sorry, Dylan Gabriel kind of made some mistakes. I think he had 2 picks in the end zone, and so it was a tough kind of night for him in that way. But he bounced right back, and they were able to continue doing what they were supposed to do, and that was beat Michigan State. So they ended up beating them 31-10. I'm excited for this next weekend matchup because this is where the ultimate test is at, and it's the big dogs.
Yes, sir. The game we've
The
been waiting for.
oh,
Oh boy.
hiyo.
Isn't game day? Game day's going to that one, right?
Has to
Yeah,
be.
they
Yep.
are. I'll be there
And
too.
then I
Oh
think
yeah.
there's isn't like the Red River rivalry this week too?
Isn't that
Or
one the Provo one? There's one that they're coming to the afternoon one. They're going to Provo against BYU versus whoever they're playing.
The Red River rivalry is Texas and Oklahoma. And yeah, that is this week. That's at 1:30. BYU's
it's
playing
the
Arizona.
I think they're
yeah
coming to. There's
yeah
an afternoon game crew that's coming to Provo this weekend too.
Oh, is that? Is it the Fox one?
I don't know who it is, to be honest. I think actually, yeah, it is the Fox one.
it
What
is
are they?
BYU's homecoming this week.
Maybe
Nice.
that's why too, a big part of it. But
Big
anyway,
game.
Oregon looks good. Forget about BYU.
Yeah, man, that's awesome for them. It's kind of like you said, shocking that they jumped that high. I feel like Michigan State's not that great of a program that would get you that big of a jump in that part of the AP poll.
Yeah.
And I would feel like you guys maybe could have beat them better. Like you said, you could have played better. Dylan Gabriel wasn't perfect, but you guys won. That's what matters. And took care of business on that Friday night. So good for Oregon to get back. And yeah, now we got 2 versus 3 this week, baby. The game we've been talking about all season. So let's see who takes it home. See if Oregon's really belongs in the Big Ten.
Ah.
Well, hey, I'm not surprised that Oregon jumped up to here because of what happened with the upsets and who's missing out of the top 3. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if they're good enough to be in the top 3. They haven't really shown that they deserve to be in the top 3. I think that this is just movement from other big name schools
Crazy weekend.
getting knocked down. I think that's all this is because, like you said, Kyle, Michigan State's nothing to really talk about. So, it's good for them. Can't wait to see this game this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Well, and like a few of the guys that deserve a big shout out, honestly, this weekend was Jordan James. He had 24 carries with 166 yards. Dude was just bulldozing people. Finally, our receivers were starting to click.
Just
I still am not. Huh?
Just pounding them.
I'm not allowed to use that word anymore. Bulldozing is the new word. He was bulldozing people. And then Tez Johnson had 84 yards. Terrence Ferguson was playing really well. Still, I'm not pleased with Yvonne Stewart. He still is struggling. We need to get him going because we're gonna need him in this big game. So I'm excited for it. Do I think Oregon takes this one?
Well, you gotta have some faith.
I might have to lose a toe on that one. I might have to bet on a toe. So, but it should be a really good game. If Oregon's, I think what's going to be the difference is if Oregon's defense shows up, then it's going to be a good game. If Oregon's defense does not show up, it's going to be a terrible game because our offense can keep up with Ohio State's offense, but it's the game of defenses. I think what's going to happen. So it's going to determine whether they stay at that or they go to the number 2 spot, or if they drop all the way down to 10. I honestly think that if they end up losing this, it's not the end of the world, but they do drop pretty heavily on that, and they still have a chance to meet them again.
You might. I mean, when Georgia lost to Bama, they dropped what from 1 or 2, I can't remember, to 5. So they didn't drop 2. I don't think you guys would drop all the way to 10 if you lost. At least if you keep it close against Ohio State, I think you guys can do it. I think I'm gonna take Ohio State in this one. Let's say I'm gonna take them 27-24.
Wow, low scoring game, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Like you said, defense.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna have to go with the new blood in the conference, man. I'm gonna go with Oregon.
Oregon it is, man. It's
right.
Yeah. Gonna be a tough game.
That who you picking then?
Who am I picking? Bro, I'm sticking with my ducks, baby. Let's go. I wish I had my duck. Quack, quack, biatches. We coming for you tonight.
Oh, boy. I can't wait. As you can tell, none of us can wait. Let's move along, though. Let's get to some other teams, okay, Feist? There's other teams that matter. Penn State, Big Ten, another Big Ten team right up there at 4, jumping up 3 spots after defeating UCLA 27-11. Boy, UCLA just got it on the shins this year. I think they played LSU, Oregon, and then Penn State in 3 straight weeks, man. It's not even their fault. That's just a crazy-ass schedule, but that's the Big Ten now. It's going to be a lot tougher. So, yeah, Penn State jumping up to 4. Georgia stays at 5 after defeating Auburn 41-13. And then
quick mention on that, actually.
What's
when you texted me, you texted me something. I thought Georgia was losing. I quickly tuned into that game, and I saw they were 13-21 or something like that. Or at the time, I was like, "Oh, I've been talking so heavily on Georgia, dude." I try not to get clipped.
Who we got
man.
at number 6? It's your other favorite team there, Feisty. The U?
Miami, baby, the Hurricanes. Mister, I went to go visit my grandma. No, he didn't. He went to go visit freaking Cal. And they end up winning. Barely. It was 39-38 win. They were down like 25 points a whole game pretty much, and they just we'll
You
have
were
to say
that
it.
close, man. You were that close to having like a perfect college football weekend.
When Wesley called it, man, that Cam Ward, oh my gosh, dude, what a talent. What a talent. He just brought them back, and F that guy and F Cristobal. That's all I got to say to that.
Dog, man, what a dog. I was kind of rooting for Cal too. I was rooting for a little upset, but especially for you, and I know how much you would have loved to see that, especially with Cal being unranked, but still kind of an impressive game for Cal. I mean, not the end when you lose a 25-point lead, but to be up there with Miami. Game day was there this week. This is the kind of like surprising game, and man, that game took forever too. It was like 1 a.m. when that thing finished our time. But that's awesome for Miami to keep climbing up, and yeah, we'll have to see. I'm kind of hoping it still works out where you get a playoff game against them. That would be pretty exciting.
I'd be there, bro. I would be there.
That would be awesome, yeah.
All I gotta say is, who chose Miami for the ACC championship?
Every week.
You bring up the grandma story about Cristobal. I bring up that I decided the championship for the ACC. No, man, I that Cam Ward, he's a beast. I mean, who do you take if he goes to the draft this season? Who do you think goes number 1? Maybe. Do you take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders?
And Quentin Ewers is in there too. I feel like still. I don't know. I think.
I just don't think it's a clear.
I already got my
one
quarterback,
anymore.
so it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. I would.
None of them are going number 1, but we'll have to get to that later. I think if I was to choose out of those quarterbacks, I think I would like Cam. But I don't know if that's my feelings against Shedeur, like personal feelings. But I feel like Cam. I don't know. I feel like Ewers too being out for a little bit is kind of skewing that. So if we see him come back and kill it, I might say that. I think him and Ewers, I would say, kind of neck and neck toss up for me.
Yeah, same thing. I would say I would probably take Cam. I think Cam's a better overall quarterback and isn't super flashy like Sanders are. Or sorry, not all of them. Well, they all are splashy. Yeah. But I think that he just has a little bit more edge to him, and I would like him on my team. So, and I would take him.
Yeah, you guys probably should, right?
Yeah, like for another 4 years. It's the meal.
Well, Feist, who we got at number 7?
Oh, this team, man, this team, number 1 ranked in the nation. Alabama.
What?
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. They got a big ol' upset from Vanderbilt with a score of 40-35. And let that one sink in. So Vanderbilt beat Alabama 40-35.
Hey, that lineman from a few years ago, I'm surprised he hasn't come back out already. Like, where is he? You remember the guy?
I don't remember.
You're next. It was like, I can't. They won a game, and he was just talking. He was so hype, and they had Bama next week. He's like, and Bama, you're next. And then they lost like 59-0 or something like that.
He meant this game. He was predicting this game is what he was saying. Man,
Vanderbilt, bro.
This was a nuts game. Tell me about it.
Holy crap. That is insane. Yeah, man. And especially after beating Georgia the week before, like to go and do this, it's not a good look for the program. Now that SEC is just going to be crazy. I mean, Texas has a clear hold on it until I think that they play Bama later on in the season. I don't know if they play Georgia, but Yeah, with Georgia with one loss, Alabama with one loss already. Boy, that SEC is looking a little more wide open than a lot of us might have thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I didn't think that. I mean, honestly, if you want to, I thought that Georgia maybe could be the only team in college football this year that didn't have a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as Feist got clipped for, they lost, and
We don't have to talk about that, bro. It's already done with.
He's
but
been
how about
redeemed.
but how about them students, man? That's just what an amazing
Man.
atmosphere. What an amazing atmosphere at that game. I mean, didn't they? I think they got fined.
They
Like
got fined
Vanderbilt,
100K.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt got fined 100K, and I think that goes straight to Bama's program.
Does it?
I think
I don't know
so.
whose. I
I
don't know
don't know
whose
that
funds it
Vanderbilt
goes
cares
to.
about that too. And they ripped down the goalpost. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Ripped it
yeah.
down, carried it. I heard 3 miles to a
No,
river.
they marched it down. They marched it down Main Street.
Oh my gosh! Hey, let's just give them a moment of applause to these guys, man.
They deserve it. They deserve it. I can't
Well deserved.
imagine how insane like that would be to be there for that game. That would be fucking crazy.
The
Good for
quarterback's
them, man.
interview was even funnier. I don't know if you guys got a glimpse of that. He's like, "Oh, glory to God! He put me here," and then he starts swearing.
Oh yeah, I did see a little clip of that.
He
Yeah.
was super hyped. I think he
They
forgot. I
fucking
was like,
doubted us.
"Yo,
They fucking doubted us.
yeah, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what's up, bro. Go ahead and let them hear it." Would you be a team that just beat Georgia and they're the number one ranked? Like, what a freaking sad moment to be an Alabama fan. Like, you thought you had it all
Roll
figured
Tide,
out. You beat
roll.
Georgia.
Roll Tide, roll, huh, Feist?
Roll Tide ain't gonna roll in this week, baby. Roll Tide.
Stopped
We'll
in their
have to see if they
tracks.
bounce back next week. And great atmosphere. I think that would have been a great game to be a part of. I would have carried the goalpost with them to go throw it in the river. So it's just a great week. So this one's the one I'm most excited for to talk about. Tennessee, baby. What a bunch of losers. They end up at the seventh. Is that the seventh or eighth?
Eighth spot.
Eighth spot this week because they dropped 4 and they were upset by good old Razorbacks, Arkansas 19-14. Hey, I just got to ask one question. They're charging 10% surge fee for entertainment. Since they put on a bad show, did the fans get that 10% back now?
I think they should, based on your logic there, Feisty.
10%, baby. F that 10%.
Oh my gosh! And that last play was so stupid too. Like, you had no chance. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he ran it, and it's like you have no chance of getting it to the end zone. You have no more time left. You have to just chuck it to the end zone, see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another one, man. Arkansas coming in and continuing the upset train. I saw that they were another school that got fined. I think it was 250,000 for their students.
I think it was total 350 between both schools, so 250 for them.
That's crazy.
Worth it.
Worth it, yeah. I bet they made more money than they
That 10%. I'm gonna put
Arkansas,
10% of
man.
my check to the Arkansas for doing that, baby.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. just to lose 250K for your students.
That's crazy.
And then between both of them, 350. I mean, that's just and hey, this is what I was meaning. This is the only reason why I think Oregon's up at 3 is because both of these teams lost.
Yep.
And they got kicked out. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why I feel like Oregon's up there. And
there's other reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we'll see this weekend with Oregon, huh, buddy?
That's true.
We'll see if they're real. See if they're real or they're fake. We'll have to see. Well, let's move along. So Ole Miss, they jumped up 3 spots to number 9. They defeated South Carolina 27-3. And then Clemson, they beat Florida State 29-13. So, man, Clemson jumping up 5 spots and in the running to get that ACC title with Miami. But Florida State's not anymore. I think they're officially out of it, Feisty.
Who picked them?
I think it was me and you, buddy.
Uh,
I don't know much about ACC football. Okay, I don't
Somebody
watch it
just
that
knows
much.
ball. Somebody just knows ball. All right.
Actually, what's his name? You Gilly, whatever his name is, the quarterback. I think they just announced that he's done for the season too.
The
So
whole season?
yeah, he just had surgery or something.
Oh,
So they were saying that he should be out for the rest of the season. So that
so maybe
transfer
they could
ain't
start
working
winning
out so
some
well,
games.
huh?
Maybe they could start winning some games.
Is he the problem, or is it the whole program?
Then we got a tie at 11 with Iowa State after they killed Baylor 43-21. The number one team in the Big 12, man. I think they're not getting talked about. They're just kind of flying under the radar. I can't remember where they started. I know they were low as 18, maybe even lower, and they're just climbing their way up. So, going to be an interesting thing there. And then Notre Dame is the one that's tied with them at 11. I don't know why they're doing this tie thing. It must just be the votes and stuff, however it goes. I would just be like, just pick one. Say Iowa State's 11 and Notre Dame's 12. But
Yeah,
LSU's 13. They stay where they're at after a bye week.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's it.
yes.
That's all I got here.
What's going on, bud? Just go ahead and say it.
Guess who moved up 5 spots and didn't have to do a damn thing?
Wait. I think I might have put that in wrong.
Nope, it's not a
I think
typo.
they moved
Confirmed.
up. No?
I was
Yeah.
like
I
14.
can't remember. Last week was when they played Baylor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the heck? It says then they should have moved up 8 spots.
Damn.
No, that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Okay, now I see what I've done. I'll have to look that up. I might have got that messed up. I think that they were at 16 before
I was going to
this.
say I didn't think that they jumped 5, but somebody handles
Still, they went
notes
up. I think they went up 2. I didn't want to. Obviously, you could tell I didn't put too much time into this team.
Well, the team he's talking about is good old B.
Good.
What? You.
Yes, sir.
I'll do this
baby.
for you, Wesley, every week, baby.
I like that you emphasized the U. That was my favorite part.
No, not that U. It's
Oh.
B. Y. U.
Well, yeah, they moved up after a bye week. Another upset though at 15 is Texas A&M. Fucking destroyed Missouri, dude, and I think Missouri was ranked 9 before this.
Yeah.
So they jump up 10 spots to number 15. And then Missouri falls out of it. And then we have another Utah team jumping up 2 spots after a bye week. That would be the University of Utah. So didn't get disappointed this week. That's the good news. And then we have Boise State jumping up 4 to 17 after killing Utah State 62-13. I think, let me try to look here. Your boy went off again. Yep, 13 carries for 186 yards. I got to do some math and see what that is per carry. 14 yards per carry? Is that? Jeez,
Dude, the dude's just
man.
unbelievably hard to tackle. The man just has a motor that just keeps running. Like, how are you supposed to do anything against that? This guy, there's a reason why he's the top, top of the Heisman voting or whatever right now, or watch. He just doesn't stop. He just carries the ball and doesn't stop until it's a touchdown, basically. So
nuts, man.
Well
Dude's
deserved.
a dog. Definitely. Then we have a 3-way tie at 18 for Kansas State. They jump up 2 after a bye week. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about Indiana, man, because this team has come out of nowhere. They're not a football school at all. They're definitely a basketball school. But they defeated Northwestern 41-24, start 6-0 for only the second time in school history. And the last time they did that was 1967.
Wow.
So, yeah, this team is, I mean, I know they haven't, I don't think they've played many people yet, but they're winning games. They're, doing it in impressive fashion. I know they got a new coach. So, yeah, they're up there. And then Oklahoma is tied with them as well at 18 after a bye week. And then I was wrong. Missouri's still ranked. They fell down to 21. minus 12 after that defeat. And then Pittsburgh is unranked, or they were unranked, but now they're 22. Illinois jumps up 1 after being idle. Michigan is the next team, upset by Washington in a college football championship rematch, dude. Washington gets the dub 27-17. There you go, Feisty. I mean, all your teams, man. All your teams are just losing this week.
That's all I gotta say is race the roof, baby. My gosh, I watched this game the whole entire time. Derek, my father-in-law, is a Michigan fan as well. That's like his second team that he follows and stuff. But oh man, I loved it. The whole bit of it. I kept watching it and teasing him about it, and then said after they ended up beating them, I was like, scoreboard. This is another good game where it really was a back and forth battle until Washington just kind of took command of the offense, and then their defense stepped up. I think there was some bad decisions by Michigan, and so another way to end this weekend was just Michigan losing. I'm only cheering for Michigan when they play Ohio State. Other than that, no Michigan for me, baby. So good weekend.
Great weekend for you.
I will continue to have that great weekend because there's a couple more things coming up.
Well, did you talk about SMU who finishes out the AP poll at 25 after being unranked? They defeated Louisville, so Louisville on a little bit of a slump here, 34-27. So, is that what you were all excited about?
No, let's talk about the team that's not ranked. F Utah, USC, baby. They end up getting an upset from Minnesota, baby. That they end up dropping. Oh, doesn't even matter. They're unranked. Anytime USC, Michigan lose, it's music to my ears. I mean, good for Minnesota. Obviously, I'm a big fan of anybody who beats USC. I think they're super overrated. I thought they looked good this season, honestly, until this happened, and you lose to Minnesota, and they're still a building program. So, are they ready? I don't think they're ready.
I don't know.
It's a good weekend.
But yeah, great to see USC drop out. Always happy when they lose. Fuck USC. We've said that plenty of times in Utah. And yep, those fingernails not helping anymore. So that is college football for this week. Man, what an exciting week. I know that so Utah's got Arizona State on the road this Friday. I think, like we said, BYU at home against Arizona. And then obviously, like you said, the big one, Oregon and Ohio State. 2 and 3 going up. So can't wait to see those games. Thank you guys for joining us for the college football section. We'll take a quick break and get into the NFL, which we got even more crazy shit to talk about. So can't wait for that. And welcome back. Let's just hop right into the NFL, boys, and starting off this week with a banger. Finally, a good Thursday night football game this week, dude. Bucks and Falcons went out with a bang, and we finally kind of had some old school football, at least old school for our age. Kirk Chains going off for 509 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. They end up getting the win in overtime, 36-30, on a walk-off touchdown. I still can't remember that guy's name because he had been like a special teamer and stuff. And it was funny because they gave him player of the game, caught like 2 catches in that game, but the game-winning one. And I'm like, come on, Kirk Cousins had 500 yards. Like, we haven't seen that since the Big Ben Roethlisberger days. So, yeah, awesome game on that one. I definitely thought the Bucks had a chance. I was going with the Bucks for that game. It's not like they played bad at all, but Falcons were just a little bit better. 3rd game-winning drive in all 3 wins for Kirk Cousins for the Falcons this year. So pretty impressive for the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, no, I mean, the the Falcons, I thought were going to be starting off with a lot hotter of a start this season, just because of how. I mean, we even talked about it in the offseason. It seemed like they were all in this year, so maybe they're finally starting to turn something around, and Kirk Cousins kind of starting to feel a little more comfortable in that offense, and we'll kind of see how it goes from there. But yeah, I definitely think the Falcons are something to look to be scared of.
I don't know about that.
You're not quite there yet?
I'm not quite there yet. I believed them in the beginning season, but let me tell you who's a piece of player. His name is Kyle. Rhymes with doesn't matter shit. Not you, Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Not you, Jacob. Kyle Pitts. Can't stand that dude. Man goes off this game. The other games he was booty cheeks, couldn't do anything. And then this game I think he had like 5 receptions for 88 yards, and I don't know if he had a touchdown or not, but that was like way better than what he put up the last 3 weeks that I was playing him. So F that guy and F the Falcons. I'm not quite there yet, and I think maybe it's because the hurt feelings that Mr. Kyle Pitts has put on me. But solid, good game. I think it was a good way to kick the NFL week off. Kirk Cousins just doing his thing, and then he was like it was just cool. It was kind of cool to
doing
see
the
him.
swag surf at the end of the game.
Yeah, he's like just doing his thing. So good to see him being more excited again. And I'm not quite there yet with the Falcons. I was at the beginning, but I'm not anymore. So I'll have to see what happens the rest of the seasons. Do they make me a believer or a doubter?
No, I think they're killing it like these days, and they got the Panthers this week, so they might look even better. But no, I'm a believer in them. I think that they're going to be tough. Now, I think the Bucks are still right with them in the NFC South, and especially like we'll get to later what's happened with the Saints. I think it's going to be a two-headed race now. We'll have to see. But moving right along, we had one of the most fun games. It's always such a fun game. The Broncos and the Raiders, man. Lots to talk about here. No, your boy Bo Nix looked pretty good. The Broncos looked really good. Their defense, especially. I was talking to my brother, who's a Broncos fan, and he was talking about how damn good Pat Surtain is, and he really is, man. That dude is a dog. And finally, he gets a 100-yard pick six on the Raiders. And a couple things to note for the Raiders side. Davante Adams, as we talked about, was requested a trade, and he did not play this week. He does have a hamstring injury, so they're kind of seeing there. I don't expect him to play for the Raiders unless they just can't find a trade partner. And then Gardner Minshew benched for Aiden O'Connell, so things not looking too good in Las Vegas there.
What's the Raiders head coach's name? I can't remember.
Antonio Pierce.
That's what it is. It was like right on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, in the with the whole Davante Adams debacle right now, Antonio Pierce can't even say Davante Adams' name.
Oh my gosh!
Post game interview. They asked how Max Crosby was doing and how Davante Adams was doing, and Antonio Pierce went into Max Crosby and he's like, "Yeah, he's doing all right." And then 17 is still hurt, and I was like, wow, man, like what's going on there? Because I swear in the offseason they were talking about building with these two pillars, in Max Crosby and Davante Adams. So
must be tough to be a Raiders fan.
Not a good look for the Raiders. I really didn't understand when they signed Mr. Minshew. Like, it didn't really make sense to me that they didn't go after anybody.
He's a Pro Bowler last year, dude.
Pro Bowl is nothing. It's just a freaking.
Yes, it is. Mac Jones is a Pro Bowler. It means something. You saw him grading in the end zone.
Freaking replacement. I mean, it just sounds like it's just going dog shiz for the freaking Raiders. Bo Nix finally looked comfortable, like you said. He was able to do things. A little side drama. I don't know if you guys saw that, him and Sean Payne going at it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've been reading and looking into, they've been talking about how that's just Sean Payne mentality. He just kind of requires a lot of things from you as a player, and Drew Brees had to go through it the same way. And so, but I'm excited. I knew that Bo Nix was going to turn around. I hope that they continue this run. But like you said, the defense finally stepped up. And then you know who would be a good fit for the Raiders? Shador Sanders. This be a good time for him. So he'd fit in with the big lights and everything. I think that they end up sucking the rest of the season and they end up picking him as their first round pick. But it's just, the Raiders are just meant to suck. So sorry, Omar, your Raiders suck.
Yep, there's not much you can say there, man. I mean, it's pretty much the same team. I feel like. Well, they did lose Josh Jacobs, so that's actually huge. But the defense pretty similar, and they added Christian Wilkins. They already had Aiden O'Connell, so yeah, it just doesn't look as good. I know Antonio Pierce came on really strong last year, but I don't know. I don't have too much faith in the Las Vegas Raiders. And speaking of not having a lot of faith in teams,
I love this segment of the pod every week.
every week it just looks worse and worse. That I hope that Gatorade bath was worth it, Gerard. Because it's the only one you're getting. But to start out with some serious news, our safety Jabril Peppers was actually arrested last Saturday before the game on charges of battery and assault with a dangerous weapon on his pregnant girlfriend. He pled not guilty to those charges. What happened was the girlfriend said that he put his hands around her neck and pushed her up against the wall and then pushed her down the stairs. And then he claims that she made that all up to ruin his career and that she fell down the stairs due to being intoxicated. He is also charged on possession of I think it's a Class B substance is what it's called. It was cocaine, and he admitted that it was cocaine, so he did do that, did have that. But yeah, he pled not guilty to the charges. His lawyer said that there's video evidence to support him that will exonerate him and other evidence. So I sure hope so. I mean, obviously, if these charges are true, like, fuck that guy, and I don't want anything to do with him. But I hope that they're not, and I hope that he does get exonerated and he can't. I know he's been released on bail. He'll be due back in court next month, so I think that he's going to be able to play during that time. But yeah, very serious situation going on there, and we'll have to see how that all pans out.
I think if you've got something going on like that in your personal life, I feel like you shouldn't be playing football right now.
Step away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to step away from the game. That's not your number one priority. And, even with the her saying that he did all this, I don't know. I mean, did the Patriots try to do their own investigation into it?
You hope
do they suspend him for this month until they exonerate him in court? How do they go about all this? So that'd be my question with what's going on in his life.
Well, yeah, man. It's unfortunate when situations like this arise, and it can happen, And I hope for both sake that neither of the stories is true. Like, to be pregnant and to be intoxicated, it's not good for the baby. And then, you hope that Mr. Peppers was a better man than to put a hands on a woman. And so, but good for him on cooperating with the law enforcement and admitting things that he did wrong with the substance or the possession of the cocaine. And so he seems like he's cooperating with it, and hopefully they have a speedy kind of investigation and all the right things come out on both sides. And there's not really a whole lot to say about it. Just kind of hope for both to go well for him. So
it's a shitty season or shitty situation either way, right? Either this woman is lying out of her ass and trying to ruin someone's career, or Jabril Peppers is actually, a real piece of shit. So we'll have to see how that goes. Getting more into the game, some big news about the Patriots. David Andrews, our center, our captain, I think possibly our longest tenured Patriot at this point. out for the season. Our only good offensive lineman, and like I said, captain in that locker room, big part of our program, is out with a shoulder injury. He just got surgery on it. So that is a huge blow for the Patriots. But some good news, a couple receivers, your boy, OBJ, made his return to the field. And then my guy, Kendrick Bourne, also returned from the PUP list. Some other news to talk about. I kind of pissed me off because I benched him in my leagues, but Ramondre Stevenson, he was benched in this game to start due to those fumble issues. But he came out and still showed that he was clearly the best running back on the team. He basically just didn't start the game. He got most of the carries, dominated, got a touchdown, got a big run. So, yeah, I think they'll go right back to him. I think, which hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully it's just like, hey, this was just a message. Like, we need to take this shit seriously.
Yeah.
He made it through a whole game without a single fumble. So that's awesome. But then, yeah, we'll get into just the best game. I mean, it was so fucking terrible, man. These two teams suck. The Dolphins, obviously, without Tua has been rough, and the Patriots are the Patriots. And the Dolphins
toilet bowl of the NFL.
Yep. Yep. I have to agree with you. There's nothing I can even say anymore. I mean, although I will say I think we should have won this game. Still don't understand it. Not sure if you guys have seen it. Wouldn't blame you if you didn't, because why would you want to watch this game when there were so many better games going on at that time? But Jalen Polk, he made an amazing catch. And I don't know if there's something I'm misunderstanding. We didn't hear the explanation because we had so many games going on, but he caught the ball, left foot came down, right foot, his toes and the ball of his foot touched first. His heel didn't make it in bounds, but there's toe taps all the time. So based on what I just said, is that a touchdown?
Can I go first?
Like, for real.
It wasn't a catch. Welcome to the club, baby. We've been waiting for you. Oh my gosh. Oh, that felt good. That felt real good, guys.
Week five regular season toilet game versus chance to go to the NFC Championship.
I don't care what it playoffs or not. It wasn't a catch. Welcome to the club. We've been waiting for you. That feels so good to just get it out finally.
Welcome to the damn club.
Oh boy.
I don't know. That sounds like a catch to me. If it's in bounds, then it's. If you get both feet in bounds, that's a catch.
Down. Like
the only other thing that can control that. The only other thing that can control that is if he did or did not have control of the
possession.
ball.
And he did. He was falling back, so he fell back, caught it like this.
And it was a toe touching kind of grab, basically.
Yeah, left foot scraped like that. Clearly, that was the foot that was clearly in bounds. Right foot, toes and ball of his foot were up, but then his heel was out, and the toes and the ball of his foot touched first.
No, it's a touch.
All joking aside, that should be a touchdown.
I don't understand. And you know what I think it is? I think it's the NFL's.
So is the Jesse James catch. But
no, he lost control. They do to the rules. Look at the rules.
Yeah.
So
look at the rules at the time.
Broke the plane at the touchdown.
No, I don't know.
I've seen it happen a million times.
Hey, so was Dez's catch.
It's different. Dez didn't catch
that one's different. That one's different. Dez didn't catch
it. Come on now.
Oh boy. But I think it was all for the script writers, okay? I think that script writers did this up because if we win this game, Jacoby Brissett is still our quarterback. God damn it. I'm so mad. Drake May is going to start against the Texans week 6. Boy. Why? Okay, like, what is Drake? And I get Drake May. The only thing is, does he give you a better chance with his ability on offense, with his athleticism, whatever? Our offensive line is, like I've said, down to second or third stringman at every position.
Swiss cheese.
It sucks. And, our wide receivers, none of them, we don't have a number one. We don't have, like, dynamic playmakers yet. Maybe they will be eventually, but they're not yet. We got Ramondre, but there's no offensive line, so everybody's going to know everybody's going to know we're going to try and use him. there's nothing on this team that makes you say, all right, Drake May is ready this early into the season too, like we talked about. Okay, if you want to throw him in at week 14 when you're already well eliminated, let him have some time. Okay, but now you're just throwing him out to the wolves. He's going to get killed. He's probably not going to look good, and it's not going to be his fucking fault. It's going to be Mac Jones all over again, but probably even worse because this guy might have a lot more talent and potential. I just there's no logic to this move at all, and especially after Gerard has been saying, Jacoby's our quarterback. Jacoby's our quarterback, 100%. Sticking with the plan, sticking with the plan. Well, this is a stupid ass plan. Is it? This was all you were going to take, and you're going to throw a freaking kid out there who everybody knows needs the development. He's a raw prospect. Like, God, I can't even. And to top it all off, the Patriots are now in position for the number 1 pick next year. So that's my piece. I better stop before I actually break my mic.
I don't know, man. There's at some points where, you feel like you want to get a player out there so he can get game time experience against number ones. So, like, say Brissett went out and started this week against this next week against the Texans. Patriots get absolutely fucking dog slapped by the Texans, and then Drake May comes out and plays against the number 2s on the Texans. I mean, it's game speed. It's an actual game. But is that like real development there? Or that'd be my only argument against it, playing devil's advocate, because I think he should be sitting all season too. There's no point in him starting this season at all. They're going to be the worst team in the league. They are going to have the number 1 pick next year. Why do you think that Drake May needs to start? He's not. There's no point for you guys to even need to try to start winning. You know what I mean?
There's nothing. Yeah.
There's 0 point. So, I mean, there's just no reason to have a quarterback change.
You're not going to win any division. There's nothing.
Unless you just think that this is going to help his development and have game time speed plays, and that actually means something. You know what I mean? That'd be my only takeaway from it.
What if we were, say we're have the same record, but we have, like, Jalen Polk has been, like, established as a clear number 1 receiver, and he's had all these catches, touchdowns, whatever, and our offensive line was still our starting offensive line and healthy. Okay, then he has a decent offensive line, maybe, some weapons, maybe then you have a reason, okay, we can actually throw him in, and this will be a good time to get developed, where he's going to have time in the pocket. He's not going to have to run for his life out there. But there's another thing, too. Like, we got the Texans this week, his first week starting. They got an amazing defense, an amazing pass rush. There's no chance our offensive line can stand up against that. The Jaguars, maybe that'll be okay. Jets have an amazing defense. We saw that in week 3. Titans have been, like, having an underrated defense. Bears have a good defense. Like, those are our games coming up. And, like, in what way is Drake May going to have success against those defenses with no help and no offensive line? I mean, I don't understand how he could do it. Like, he doesn't have the weapons. Like, you look at C.J. Stroud, you look at Jaden Daniels, who started out their careers. They got bona fide weapons, multiple weapons. So, yeah, there's no – I get what you're saying. It's a good point, but I just don't see that this is actually good for his development to get these number 1 reps when, they're not going to have any chance to really make a play. I think you're just going to see it's not really going to be his fault. You're just going to see the Patriots get their ass kicked, and Drake May probably sacked 7-8 times next week.
Yeah, you just hope that, like, no injury comes out of this either, where he ends up getting hurt because you don't have that protection. We've seen it with Bryce Young. There's a reason why he's benched, because he just can't play. I mean, we kind of gave him shit for it last week, where we're like, or 2-3 weeks ago, when Andy Dalton did it with the same offensive line, same everything. But sometimes as a young player, it's hard to be thrown into a situation like that where you have nothing going right for you. And it would be different, like you said, Jacobs, of where if he had a wide receiver that was popping off, like, okay, now he has a weapon that he can go. but it sounds like it's going to be a get sacked or dump it off to Ramondre Stevenson and hope that he makes some kind of miracle happen. So I agree with you. I think this is just a hope and a prayer from your coach's aspect of just like, hey, let's just throw him in there and maybe we can start winning games because they've said that they don't want to be tanking or anything to get the number one pick, but at the same time, just keep going with what's working and that's what's not working. That's the quarterback that you have right now. So it just to me, I agree. I think it's just throwing him under the fire. So you hope that he ends up not getting hurt and that they do something that you end up and me both get clipped because he has a great rest of the season, but I don't think
Hey, I would
that's
love to
happening.
get clipped if that happens, man. I'd be posting that clip every freaking week. That would be the only clips you guys would see anymore if that's what happened. But it's like you said, it's not going to. And
No.
I think the thing is too. Now that you've gone to him, you can't go away.
Yeah.
Because if you bench him after, if he doesn't do good for a few weeks or however long, and you go back to Jacoby, like now you just ruined his confidence
Confidence,
altogether.
yeah.
So week 6 is wild. I know we were talking about it and it's been a topic every week, and I just did not think that this was going to be a possibility. So,
Yeah.
God damn it. But
Unfortunate.
let's move on to another game before I just lose my freaking mind.
Yeah, you hope that the Patriots have a plan in place, but let's move on to a game that
They don't, apparently.
sounded like this game didn't have much of a planning either. So the good old Wesley, look at the camera, bro. Why are you scared, bro? Look at the camera. The Steelers versus the Cowboys. So this game kind of started out rough. You had the rain delay, and it was just pouring madly over there. And it didn't start until like what was it, like 9, 8 our time,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't finish until like 10, 11 our time. So like 1 p.m. their time or 1 a.m. their time. So it was a tough start. Not a whole lot to celebrate. I know that the Cowboys end up beating the Steelers 20-17. And the reason why I didn't text you or blow up your phone or get super excited about it, Wes, is I thought that this was a bullshit win, to be honest with you. So game on the line, Dak throws a freaking dot to Jalen Tolbert for the game winning touchdown with 20 seconds left, and it was a fourth and goal. It looked amazing. Like for him to, especially that play where he was hurt, and then they call a timeout, and he comes back and to do that, it was a huge miracle. I watched Micah Parson and Diggs talk about it in Micah Parsons' little podcast that he does on Bleacher Report, but he's like that just felt like a miracle touchdown, and I agree. But the thing that is the biggest thing, the Cowboys acted like they just won the Super Bowl. Like
I know
it
that
was the
feeling, buddy.
most embarrassing thing ever. Like everybody was celebrating. Everybody it almost like felt like they were about to give McCarthy the Gatorade bath as well. I was very shocked because number one, Steelers were a good team. They definitely should have beat us. Good for Justin Fields. He's looking comfortable. He's becoming the player that you want him
No,
to be. I thought so. I didn't think that he was
not in
doing.
not in this game.
I still think he's improving every week, especially towards the end
Your
of the
fucking
games.
third string players were disrupting our whole offense for some reason.
That's
Because the
called
Dallas
offensive
Cowboys
line.
defense,
Just kidding.
the Dallas Cowboys defense is an infirmary right now.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing of this game too. Injuries, both sides. I think by the time we were all done, we were on our like third, fourth strings on everything.
Yeah,
So
I know. Tell me about it.
no, tell me about it.
And the Steelers offense still couldn't do shit, man. That's what pisses me off the most is, the defense went out there and did what the defense needed to do to win that game. They created turnovers. I mean, they disrupted Dak. I mean, they were bend, don't break, all this stuff. And I don't understand why the Steelers are so cursed to have shit offenses in this damn league. I don't get it. Ever since the Killer Bees, man. It's been a long time since I've seen a good Steelers offense, and it's just with the defense we have holding teams. I mean, there's only been one team that scored. Well, I guess the Cowboys just hit 20, but there's only been one other team that's gone over 20 points against the Steelers all season, and the offense can't do shit to just at least complement the defense. This was their game, you know what I mean? This is their style of game. Like, even our buddy Sean was sitting there making fun of how the Steelers and stuff like that were playing so bad, and I was like, well, this is Steelers football. This is Steelers ball right here.
This is 9-8 football right here, baby. Oh, that's just I know exactly how you feel, but even worse because, like you said, you have a great defense, and I don't think our defense is crap, but it's not as good, especially this year. And just to see the way you guys can win games, but then. I can't imagine how frustrating that is, to just be on a team where you're so dominant in what way. And even a Cowboys fan saying, like, we shouldn't have won this game. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to see.
No confidence.
Yeah. And what do you do? Because, like you said, you're not that confident in Russell Wilson. Justin Fields. Russell Wilson, full-time participant this week, or he's set to be in practice. So what do you think? Do you think he could come in, change his offense at all, or you got more problems than that?
Well, the problem is that you can't – I feel like it'd be hard to make that change at this point just because they play such different games, and the offense is now built around Justin Fields.
Right.
The thing is that Justin Fields went 3-0 to start the season, and now he's lost 2 games back-to-back. Do you think that calls for a quarterback change?
Not yet. I wouldn't, and especially the way that you've played, like you were in, because you lost by how many points last week? It was like only 3-2, right? Like you guys came back there at the end, so he definitely is not playing bad enough to lose the job.
And in that game, he threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah.
But then this week against the Dallas Cowboy Infirmary, he couldn't do shit.
Calm down. There was chirper on the sideline, and you could tell that there was tensions that were high, especially with CD Lamb and Dak. This is the second week where they've had. Feels like somebody's having issues, whether it's Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence yelling at each other, CD Lamb and Dak going at it. And somebody slowed it down. I saw on the Bleacher Report. I don't know if it's true or not, to be honest. But the video, it looked like CD Lamb said subpar throw, and then he said subpar throw, so. I did watch this on Micah Parsons' podcast where he was like, people are just blowing things out of proportion. We're a team that is very, emotional, or there's a lot of stuff happening at the time, and so it definitely seems like there's a lot of always chirper and people blow it up more than it is. I think that Dak and CD are fine. I think CD is just mad because he's getting paid this big bucks, unlike Dak, where he's fine being garbage and throwing 2 picks, or throwing whatever. I think he threw a pick and then he got sacked.
Yeah, he threw at least a couple. Oh, was that what it was?
That was the sack fumble on T.J. Watt's 100th career sack. He is now the second fastest player to ever get to 100 sacks.
I can't believe he's the second fastest. That's crazy, but good for him, man. That's a fit. I think he's wasting his career there in Pittsburgh. Needs to get out, come to a team with maybe a younger, developing quarterback. And
team that doesn't know what they're doing. Anyways.
He would fix everything, okay? I promise. Even the offense.
Hopefully the Steelers offense gets a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel a little bit if a couple players become available. These would be DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper. I would love to have Amari Cooper back, please. I know it's not gonna happen, but those are 2 good players still. I think that they can, they can make an impact for that team to help George Pickens kind of get more of a freedom to do things. I know right now it's kind of struggle for him. So overall, good game for the Cowboys. But we pulled it away, and it was kind of a sad victory, and I was kind of disappointed that we acted like
we were champions of the world. Like that was garbage freaking play. So
Yeah. Well, mentioning DeAndre Hopkins, I think, Wes, that was one of the guys you mentioned last week who could be on the trademark. And yeah, I saw that the Steelers might be interested in him. Amari Cooper probably doesn't happen in division trade, but that would be nice. Do you think that would happen? And also with George Pickens, because I saw that he was getting some snap, like management, I guess you call it. He had less snaps this week. Mike Tomlin saying it was because of the plan they have for him. It's not because of like effort or anything like that. They're not punishing him. It's just to try to like help him. So what are your thoughts on that? And then yeah, do you think you guys go after another wide receiver now that there's a little bit more buzz with you guys doing that?
Well, when you're the only receiver that they could throw the football to, I could see them trying to limit some snaps too. So
yeah,
that's, I mean, that's basically all I can take away from that. I don't know if they're just trying to keep him from getting injured because he's their whole receiving game, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say too much, I guess, on the George Pickens thing. I know that sometimes his character kind of comes into play, but what Steelers receiver hasn't?
good one.
But no, I think a DeAndre Hopkins, at least coming in and taking the load off of George Pickens would be really good. I don't know about Amari Cooper. I just don't. I think that Amari Cooper's. I mean, they were planning on paying Ayuk 30,000 or 30 million a year or $30 million contract. So they can. I guess they can afford whoever the hell they want to afford, but. I don't know, man. I don't know how to fix this offense at this point. I don't know if is another receiver really going to help the Steelers offense at this point, or is it just find a quarterback? You know what I mean? Find an actual quarterback. That's what it's kind of coming down to. I feel like.
Well, and Warren's been out for a little bit, right?
Yeah. We signed a dude off the street this last week, basically. It feels like,
Aaron
bro.
Samplin or Jonathan Ward, I'm seeing as you're rushing. But that's like looking at these stats, this is crazy. That must show how awesome the Steelers defense really is, because like Najee had 42 rushing yards and then 35 receiving yards off 2 receptions, which leads the team in receiving for the week. You got 26, 26, 23, 22, and then 9, 6, and 5. Like that right there would tell me, oh, you guys lost, by 3 touchdowns. The fact that you were still in that game and the Cowboys fan is saying that you guys should have won, that's got to be. And I'm not even like trying to talk shit. That's just got to be like frustrating to see. And like you said, you haven't seen that offense in so long.
It's the inconsistency, and it happened last year with Kenny Pickett. It happened, in the last couple of years with Big Ben. The inconsistency in the offense has just been insane. Like Justin Fields goes from almost bringing us back and throwing 300 yards to what? I think he threw for like 155 or something like that.
131.
131. So I gave him an extra 20 yards there.
2 touchdowns.
He just looks like he's forcing the ball. I think I've said this at the beginning when he was successful.
He's not seeing the field.
No, he does really well with the play action, though. Maybe that's what they need to do more on is the play action call.
Like, that's all they can do.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but I think it's sad to say, but I think he still needs time to develop and learn how to read the game, because the defense will show one thing and then mix it up to mess with the quarterback's head, and that's what's happening to him. He can't read it, and those play actions, like the good thing that I guess you can take away from this is that he's not running the ball anymore as much. Like it's not his first option, but his first and second option are terrible, and he's trying to force the ball. Like you're almost better with him using his legs as his second option at this point, but he's still young. I think that you guys still have an upside on him. I'm a Justin Fields fan. It's just going to take time for him to develop that game aspect of like, it's harder than we think, obviously, but it's going to take time.
The thing is like Chris Collinsworth even said it during the game. he looks like they have these crossing patterns in their play action plays. And I don't know if you guys have seen it at all when you watch a Steelers game, but he hits those underneath routes all the time. Underneath routes on the outside all the time. And then especially in this game against Dallas, there was intermediate routes that were wide open. You just have to drop it in over linebackers. You have to drop it in over a soft zone by the corner. Stuff like that. You have to just drop it into the intermediate, and he doesn't see it.
Yeah, and he can't do that. His thing is a bullet coming at you. I feel like he just doesn't have that.
That's why I feel like Russell Wilson would be better.
Yeah.
Just because he can see that.
Go to him now, right?
Yeah.
I just think that you give him one more game to see how well he does. And if he doesn't, then you can make that QB change and just still let him learn to just read that defense, because that's a big aspect of being a quarterback, is being able to read and see what's coming at you and make changes. And I don't think he has that, like you said. But
I almost wanted the Steelers to treat Justin Fields like
as a running back.
I wanted them to treat Justin Fields like I wanted the Patriots to treat Drake May.
Yeah.
Or how the Chiefs treated Patrick Mahomes, or just have the veteran dude start, show out how it's done, teach the young guy, and treat Justin Fields like a rookie.
Yep. If Justin Fields could have learned what Russell Wilson, would bring to your offense that Justin Fields doesn't have, if he could sit this year, have that plus his dynamic athletic ability, that's a quarterback that you're looking in the future. That's like Jaden Daniels, almost like that's the type of quarterback he could be. If he could learn that stuff. He's Jaden Daniels with the feet, but he's definitely not with reading defenses, with the arm. Like you said, he's all short stuff and then using his legs. And when you have such a limited offense too, it makes those things that you're good at not as good anymore. Now that the Cowboys can know that we just got to keep him inside the pocket. If we keep him inside the pocket, he's going to have no idea what he's doing out there. So yeah, it's hard to do, because the other thing too is if you do go to Russell Wilson, like that's good. Again, like I said with Drake May, you can't go back to Justin Fields now. Now you've said to him, we don't believe in you. And then that could ruin the locker room, everything. But at the same time, like, I think it's kind of a shitty situation how it would have worked out with that calf injury for Russell Wilson, because he was going to start week 1, right?
Yeah. He was named the starter, everything.
So if he wouldn't have had that injury, and you guys could have started with him, and because I think it's much easier to start with Russell Wilson, it doesn't go well, and then go to Justin Fields, where now you're at this point where Justin Fields looked good, now he's not looking as good, you're showing his deficiencies, so it's going to be tough. But I think, like you said, Wes, I think you're going to have to stick with Justin Fields for a while. Do you know who you guys have this week?
Why can't I remember right now?
Let me see if I can find them. Oh, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
So, okay. Maybe he can have a little bounce back week and keep his confidence.
But that back half of the schedule, man, you need some sort of offense to win those games. You can't just rely on the defense in those games.
Yep. And the more you put your defense out there, man, doesn't matter how good they are, they're going to get tired and they're going to get run down and
going to get hurt.
Yeah. And you can't have that. We've seen the stats with TJ Watt on the field versus TJ Watt off the field. So,
well, this has been the Steelers for the last 5 years. The defense comes out and looks like the best damn defense that football's ever seen, and then they all get injured. They get tired super fast because the offense can't stay on the field, and then they look like shit.
That's Steelers football, baby. That's 9-8 football, baby.
That's 9-8 football.
Well, let's move on. All right, enough with our teams. Let's go on to our picks. And boy, did I have a good week this week. So my lock was the Commanders over the Browns. Anybody over the Browns at this point. They are what, Wesley? The dog
shit.
Dog shit, man. And boy, Deshaun Watson continued to look like dog shit, dude. I know that he is being paid all this money.
Guaranteed.
So what? Bench him. You're going to pay him either way. I don't think he gives a shit anymore. I feel like he's got his money. He's set. Dude's just not what he used to be. I think it's been clear. It's been proven. I think that Jameis Winston makes this team a better football team.
Yeah.
Like legit. I think that I'm not saying they're gonna go to the playoffs with him, but they're gonna have more chances with him. They're gonna win more games. And then on the other side, man, I continue to say it. I'm gonna be a fan of him forever. Jaden Daniels continues to impress. I think he had some stat, where he became the first quarterback in NFL history with 1,000+ passing yards and 250 rushing yards in their first 5 games. So you're talking about guys like Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson that didn't even do that. It'll break my heart every day that we didn't get him. But dude's a dog. Commanders look good. I think that they legit have a shot and might actually be a better team than the Cowboys right now. But yeah, the Browns might have a run for the Patriots for that number 1 pick this year because they look pretty fucking bad.
Did you see what happened in this last game? Kevin Stefanski wanted to go for it on 4th down, and Deshaun Watson just walked off the fucking field.
But yeah.
I did see that. It was a big thing about it.
And there was something about them having 12 men on the field or something like that at that time. Was that the thing that you're talking about?
No, they were going to go for a fourth down or whatever it was, and it was inches too. It wasn't like a big 4th down, and then he's like, "Nah, let's just punt it."
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, no. Kevin Stefanski called to go for it on 4th down, and Deshaun Watson turned around, was in the huddle, and Deshaun Watson just turned around and walked to the sideline.
Yeah,
the whole offense was still standing on the field as Deshaun Watson was walking off the field.
That's terrible.
That's a man that's guaranteed money, doesn't care, doesn't want to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Way to pay a man $250 million.
And you had Joe fucking Flacco almost like, I know their playoff game didn't go very well, but they made the playoffs with Joe Flacco, and you could have paid him literally next to nothing.
But that's the thing, right? So they looked at it as Kevin Stefanski and the GM of the Browns. This is how dog shit the Browns are. They literally could have paid Joe Flacco next to nothing to play for the Browns. Mm-hmm. But what they did is that they let Joe Flacco walk because they didn't want to have a quarterback controversy with their $250 million dog shit quarterback. That's what happened.
Oh, man.
They didn't want to have a quarterback controversy with it.
That's so stupid. That is so stupid.
And he played well this last week too.
He did. He's played well the past couple weeks, man. Joe Flacco, I don't understand. And I remember, you can look back, before we signed Jacoby Brissett, that's who I wanted the Patriots to sign as our bridge quarterback. I think, I love Brissett. I think he's been all right, but again, with the Patriots, they suck, so we're not getting into that. But I think Flacco would have made this a better team and been a better role model for Drake May as well. Like, Flacco is still a good quarterback. I don't know why he was even a backup. You hear all these former quarterbacks that have retired saying, like, Joe Flacco, there's no chance that he's not one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL. So, yeah, it's pretty stupid on the Browns. Sorry, Feist. I know we let you get much in on this because we just have our opinions. But, yeah, you got any other thoughts on this game?
No, I just... I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels, like you said, and he continues to impress. And no need to apologize because it's the Browns. Sean Watson sucks. I was a fan of him at the beginning, and now I'm just like, bro, the dude just doesn't care. Especially when he pulled that off. He just walked away and said, let's just punt it.
I didn't know that, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. At that moment, I would be like, okay, let's cut this guy. There's no
I can't imagine being the Browns fan. Like, even, all the shit that we have on our teams, especially my team, just like all the problems we have, at least Jacoby Brissett is going out there every fucking snap and trying. He's getting his ass killed, his head ripped off, but like, he's trying and he cares about the team. And then, like, you got, but to have a guy just go off like that, I didn't even know that. And that's just so surprising and pisses me off. I can't imagine being a Browns fan right now. I mean, they've gone through enough. They've gone through enough.
Browns fans are wishing for Baker Mayfield.
Oh my God, we don't even. There's enough. That's a hot button for me and you there, Wes. Like, we don't have to get into that because, geez Louise, look at what that guy's doing, and
How do you let him go? How do you let him go after he wins a playoff game?
He won a playoff game against your division rival, Pittsburgh Steelers, when you got in Pittsburgh, right?
In Pittsburgh.
It was in Pittsburgh, and the only playoff game they won in 20 years. But that's why they are dog shit. So, well, let's move along to my underdog pick, the Arizona Cardinals against the 49ers. Now, I picked the Cardinals for my underdog because they're 7.5 points underdogs, and I think I've been saying kind of all year that I think the Cardinals are a better team than what their record showed. I think they've had some tough games here and there. Their defense has been letting up a lot. But boy, this was a hell of a game. Cardinals get the upset win over the 49ers, 24-23. So your boy gets 7.5 points on that one. And some news on this, Vice, I know you'll like this. CMC probably not coming back next week, but he might come back weeks, or I think it's week 8 or week 7 against the Chiefs on October 20th. So maybe just a couple more weeks for CMC might get him back. And then I wanted to bring this up. I saw this last week, so this didn't count for this week. But, you know, Vice, what do you always like to say about Mr. Brock Purdy?
Actually, Brock Purdy ain't good.
And after losing this week, I can see, you know. But
Why did he lose? Why did he lose? What happened in the game? Let's just talk about it for a quick second. Why the 49ers lost?
Well, I think Kyler Murray put on a hell of a performance. Did you see when he called out his own touchdown? Before he was like 50 yards away, he points out, he's like, "Yep, I'm gone." The
only one that I saw was when Brock Purdy threw a pick to end the game. That guy sucks. Brock Purdy ain't good.
All right, well, since you said that, before this week, since the start of last season, the records between Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes are 14-6. The passing yards, 5,410 Brock Purdy, 5,087 Patrick Mahomes. Touchdown to interception ratio, 36-13 Brock, 33-19 Patrick. Passer rating, 113 for Brock, 92.1 for Mahomes, and 9.6 yards per attempt for Brock Purdy and 7.1 for Mahomes. So, Patrick Mahomes ain't good.
Nah, it's just Brock Purdy ain't good.
Patrick Mahomes has one guy to throw to. Patrick Mahomes
with the weapons
has one guy.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, man.
Brock Purdy has a whole fucking offense.
Yeah. Brock Purdy
I don't understand. You can't bring up the stats without bringing up the players that are with the team.
Mahomes is at the point where he has to throw the ball, catch it, and then also run with the ball.
We've already discussed that. You remember I told you that he's going to be the first one to actually throw a pass without his hands and complete it somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. We know
I do want to tell you though. So I don't know if you guys have known this, but Colin Kaepernick played 2 seasons? Or no, he played 3 seasons with the Niners, right? Starting.
Something like that.
I
remember.
What about Jimmy G? He played 3 seasons with the Niners starting, correct?
Okay.
This is Brock Purdy's 3rd year as a starter, correct?
Uh-oh. What are you saying?
The third year for Jimmy Garoppolo and Colin Kaepernick, both in the same exact system that Brock Purdy's in.
Well, Colin Kaepernick was before Shanahan.
Was he before Shanahan?
Yeah, he was with Harbaugh in the Super Bowl. I remember that.
I thought his last.
I'm liking what he's saying. Quit interrupting.
Anyways,
ahead,
the third season has been the absolute worst fucking. Like, they have these incredible seasons, the first 2 seasons. The 3rd season, they are absolute dog shit quarterbacks.
Yes, baby.
And they all went to the Super Bowl. All 3 lost in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy lost to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl.
It don't matter.
Bro, who does it matter? Why does that matter?
It doesn't matter. He could have lost it.
What do you mean, what does it matter? Mahomes is a generational fucking player. I've already said he is the only person that is going to possibly take over Tom Brady's GOAT status, and you're telling me that doesn't matter. How many Super Bowls did Ben Roethlisberger get taken away from him because of Tom Brady? Joe Flacco,
Oh, Jesus.
Drew Brees. I'm not even trying to like. You're telling me that it doesn't matter
Okay,
who's
it does
on the
matter,
other side
but
of that
all
field.
we're saying is, Jacobs, before this gets heated, this gets
Oh, you're
out
gonna
of place.
say that before it gets heated. Okay.
All we're saying is Brock Purdy ain't good. That's all. That's literally the whole story of this.
You guys are just haters, man. Brock Purdy is good, for sure. I don't know why you've been on this stance, man. Brock Purdy is good. Yes, he has a lot of weapons. He hasn't had CMC this year. Brandon Ayuk had his first good game of the year. Debo's been out. Kittle's been in and out. Like, okay.
Put him
And
on
I
the
know
Raiders.
And their worst season.
Okay, put him on the Patriots.
Even
And
better.
See what
season.
happens.
See what happens. I'll do it
Put
right
Mac
now.
Jones in the Niners, right? You think he's still going to do as good? I guarantee you he fucking won't. There's visual evidence, man. Mac Jones was against the freaking second stringers and still fumbled the ball in only a way that Mac Jones could do it, okay? Brock Purdy is good. He was the last pick of the draft. He's come in when he had to step in. And yes, he has a lot of weapons, but this dude's good. They lost a close game to a good team that I've been saying. Oh, man. Never seen a quarterback throw a pick, huh? Neither of you guys, huh?
Not when it comes to Brock Purdy. He ain't good.
That's all I have to say, man. That's all I have to say.
I will hop on that train any day of the week. Anytime the 49ers lose, boys, you know me. I'm happier than anything else. The Cowboys could lose. Oregon could get blown out. The world could be ending. If the 49ers lose.
I do have a question for you, Feist.
Yeah.
If anybody else was playing quarterback, if Dak Prescott was playing quarterback for the Niners, would they have won that game?
That's a good question.
Maybe that was a bad example.
That's a good question.
What about Justin Fields? What about Justin Fields?
Dak's ain't good. Justin Fields is not
Does
good.
he win that game with an... Oh.
Just... I don't know. That one's tough for me.
Do you want me to just keep listing off quarterbacks that Brock Purdy is better than?
No.
Because I can, if you want to.
System quarterback, bud.
No need.
What's wrong with being a system quarterback? Tom Brady was the best, right? Isn't that what you always say?
That's the problem, though, is that you keep bringing up all these stats, but Brock Purdy is a part of the system, in a system where you have 4 guys that are going to be Hall of Famers.
And where have they been all season? In and out of the line.
Where are the 49ers right now? They have a losing record.
They've lost to some good teams, have they not?
No. The 49ers aren't good. Anyway, let's move on to your random pick.
My random pick. All right. Brock Purdy is good. Okay, anyways. My random pick, 2 of Wesley's favorite teams, the Ravens and Bengals, go up against each other in, I think, so far the game of the year. This game was fucking awesome. Back and forth. I think Joe Burrow, he threw for 4 or 5 touchdowns, I believe.
I think it was
Lamar
5
Jackson
touchdowns.
was 4, running all over the place. He became the number 1 fantasy quarterback, which makes me very happy. Dude's a dog, and he was throwing it, running it. I think Lamar's proven that he's here. There's been some games here and there, but Ravens beat the Bengals 41-38 in overtime. They had some really big clutch plays. Dude, that one play by Lamar, when he fumbled the snap, recovered it, ran all the way around the field, found Isaiah in the touchdown. I mean, that is a play that only Lamar could make, So
yeah. That's
hell
what
of
they
a
said.
game. I would like to see the Ravens and Lamar come out with this one on my end personally, but hell of a game. Bengals, it makes it tough for them. I know they've had a tough schedule. I think they're another team that's better than their record. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this game?
They're 1-4, right?
The Bengals now?
Are. Yeah, they're 1-4. Well, my takeaway is that the Ravens' offense is pretty damn fucking good as long as Lamar doesn't fumble the snap.
And even when he does.
Yeah.
He did stiff arm the fuck out of Hubbard.
I didn't even mention that. Yeah. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, he stiff armed Hubbard into it. He did a Derrick Henry stiff arm on Hubbard. That's basically
been learning, yeah. Hey, I have to say, I was a Lamar. I don't know if I was a hater. I wasn't a Lamar believer. I think I'm a Lamar believer now. I know that their kryptonite, again, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty good football team. Pretty good football team. Pretty good football quarterback. Okay? That matters. But I believe in Lamar now, and I have to apologize here and now.
I still
I'll
don't.
say it.
Hey, you know
well, you're a
what?
Steelers fan. That's okay.
I believed
I
in
wouldn't
Lamar
make you
from
say
day
that.
one.
I believe Lamar's a
Derek,
running back.
hey, you buzz off. It don't matter. He's still winning games. Derrick Henry, having him with Derrick Henry was probably the best thing that could have ever happened for him. They're just both feeding off of each other. I love that. Like there was a clip that was shown where he's like, "Hey man, you're the greatest. You're the greatest player," and he's like, "No, you know what? We're great." Like it was super cool. Like just what they did to the Cowboys, no surprise. Like they've been doing it to any other teams, and this is just another game where they had to put up 40 points. But Lamar looked really good. Derrick Henry, crazy runs again, and like I said, man, this is probably the best Ravens team we've ever seen, if not. And so it looks like it's coming together. And I continue to see the Ravens blowing teams out or continue to win these last minute games where they are putting it in Lamar's hands and he's taking them to the promised land. Unlike Brock Purdy, who throws a pick when you need a game winning drive. But Lamar is better, so we'll have to leave it on that one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Lamar is better than Brock Purdy. I will
Brock
give you
Purdy ain't good.
No, man, it's impressive for the Ravens, especially after starting 0-2. Like I think that's what a lot of fans can forget about. We were writing the Ravens off after the first two games of the season. Now look what they're doing. Now they look like maybe team to beat in the AFC possibly. Even though I know the Chiefs are possibly still undefeated. We'll have to see. I won't spoil anything, but
I guess my takeaway, and you guys are gonna, I don't know, the Ravens offense.
Here we go.
The Ravens offense looks unstoppable right now. That'd be the only thing, because the Ravens, I feel like, finally gelled. They went 0-2 to start the season. Their offense is finally gelling together. They're starting to buy into the system. Their defense is the one that's in question. That'd be my only question against the Ravens. The Bengals have always started slow. They're notoriously known for starting slow in their season.
Good point, but I think the biggest thing to take away from this is Joe Burrow and Mr.
Jamar
Chase. His
Chase.
name right now, Chase. Yeah, Jamar Chase. He was asked a dumb question. Sometimes these reporters, they're like, "Hey, so what's going on? You guys are losing games," and like I forgot what the question was, but it was one of the dumb questions where it was like, "Why are you guys losing?" or something like that. And he's like, "I mean, we're just playing better teams, and we're." Anyway, it was just so funny because you could tell him Jamar Chase was really upset, and he balled out this game, right? And Joe Burrow balled out, but it's just something's not working out for them. So you hope that, like Wesley was saying, they're a slow starter team, but you hope that they can turn it around quick because, like my fantasy team, they might have a 5% chance of making the playoffs.
The thing is, they've only lost to good teams, man.
Yeah.
They lost to the Ravens, they lost to the Commanders, lost to the Chiefs, and then you lost to the Patriots. Like, what else are you going to do?
Great teams.
Oh, shit. Well, hey, let's get into my actual, I think, best week in the picks.
Nice.
For my lock last week, I had the Packers, who were 3.5 favorites over the Rams, and Packers won and covered. 24 to 19, the Packers win. The biggest takeaway from this game is that Romeo Doubs was not there. He was suspended for missing 2 practices that were unexcused, missing those. And nobody really knows kind of what was happening with Romeo Doubs. I don't know.
I didn't hear anything.
Like, there was never anything. I mean, even the head coach even said that he's happy to have him back, and he's going to be welcomed back with open arms. You know what I mean? Just nobody knows exactly what's going on. These guys are people. you never know what's going on in their personal lives.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
maybe something big happened, and I don't know. I just the other thing too, though, is that Romeo Dobbs is, I think, 4th on the reception list, or with the least amount of receptions on the team. So that could be something too, with him walking out on practice. Maybe not getting the targets that he wants, stuff like that. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that game?
You can't get balls thrown at you if you're not at practice. Can't build the chemistry if you're not at practice. I get it. Like, it's, these guys are humans too, but just like us, we get paid not millions of dollars, but we get paid to go to our jobs. We're expected to show up and do the job. So I think that plays a big factor for me. I would expect him to be at practices, especially if they're unexcused. Um, if it was something silly, I think that's like, bro, like, you're a professional, you're getting paid millions of dollars, show up to practice. But if it's something serious, like you said, something personal going on, that's a little different. But even then, you got to communicate that with the team, let them know, like, you have agents for a reason. Like, there's just so many ways you could have communicated that, and you got to be better about that. But you can't get mad that you're 4th on the list of lowest receptions if you're not there to build that chemistry. So good for
Yeah,
the Packers to pull this one out.
that's a weird situation. I mean, I know, like, the thing is with that Packers team, all those receivers, I don't think anyone is like clearly number
Superstar.
one.
Yeah.
Christian Watson is like the biggest name, I feel like, but I think Romeo Dobbs was the one that had the best game in week 1, and I think I said like that he could be the number one going forward. They could finally have a number one. That didn't end up being the case, but it sounds like they got it figured out. Like, it's only going to be a 1-game suspension. He'll be back at practice, back for everything. So it was interesting to see, but it actually ended up being a better game than I thought it would be. Packers had to like drive it down on, I can't remember if it was the last drive or second to last drive, but Tucker Kraft had that 60 something yard touchdown. He went off, had a crazy game. I know our buddy Sean was excited to see that because he ended up picking him up in his fantasy team. But yeah, Packers covering and getting the win. I think we thought it would have been more of a blowout with all those Rams injuries. Speaking of Rams injuries, though, another guy that might be coming back, Cooper Kupp, targeting a week 7 return. So that'll be huge for that Rams offense, and hopefully Puka Nacua is not too far behind because I need him very bad in a couple of my leagues.
Yeah, me too, bud. Me too. I need Cooper Kupp back. I have him in a couple of leagues, but no, I think especially for the Rams, that'll be. They just need to stay afloat. I feel right now.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do, and they had a chance at the end of that game, I believe, to win. With Matt Stafford being like one of the most winningest quarterbacks in the fourth quarter of all time.
Yep.
One of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time. They definitely did have a chance, but obviously that didn't end up being the case. They're definitely missing Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua right now. So.
Yep. And I made a mistake. The Packers didn't score in the fourth quarter. It was the Rams who made a late charge to make it a game, but not quite enough. So that was my mistake.
Well, let's move on to a game that we've already talked about. This was my underdog pick for the week. I had the Bucks beating Atlanta. The Bucks were 1.5 underdogs in that game. And then we'll move on to the random team. I had the Kansas City Chiefs, who were 5-point favorites versus the Saints. Guess who covered? Guess who won?
Yep, you guessed it. The Kansas City Chiefs, really good team, huh? Really good team, really good quarterback.
When did I ever say that they were a bad team?
Good refs.
You were just saying when we were talking. We're not getting into it again. We're not getting into it again.
Yeah,
I know it's
we
going to
don't
start.
want to get into it again.
We just have good refs. Okay, guys, let it go.
That they do.
So the Chiefs beat the Saints 26-13. That puts the Saints on a 3-game losing streak after starting 2-0 in a very, very offensive dominant fashion.
Oh boy. Guess we're not going to Super Bowl anymore, huh?
Derek Carr going back to his old form. Well, actually,
Oh no. No.
actually, Derek Carr gets injured late in the fourth quarter to be sidelined. He's going to be sidelined for multiple weeks with an oblique injury. Guess who? Guess who's the front runner there to take the starting quarterback position? That would be Spencer Rattler, a strong candidate.
Wow.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this goes. I thought. They took him pretty late, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 5th round or something like that, I want to say.
Like he fell too, because I think he was projected to go in the second round.
No, I think he was projected like third, fourth round, but he ended up like falling all the way to like, and I think it was high second round that he was projected. And then
That's
I
what
don't
Wes
remember.
just said.
Something came up.
That's
Something
what
he
I just
did,
said.
and he ends up falling all the way to like the 5th round.
There was something. Something came up right before the draft.
Yeah, and it made him fall. I forgot
Made
what
him
it was,
fall.
but there was
Yeah, he
something that
was
came
5th
out.
pick, 150th, or 5th round, 150th pick overall.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spencer time.
Yeah. So, Chiefs being Chiefs, refs being refs, beat the Saints. What do you guys think of the game?
I thought I didn't watch this game a whole lot, but I'm kind of starting to. I texted our buddy Hunter though after they killed us. Saints, is this it? This is the year? I'm like, is our year? It just I felt like everything was clicking for them in those first 2 games. Alvin Kamara was just doing Alvin Kamara things, and all of a sudden now it just seems like everything has slowed down for them. And now having Derek Carr out, which was proving Jacobs wrong, now it just makes it look like the Saints are just the Saints again. And I don't know how you could fix that with him being injured now. You hope that Mr. Rattler is good enough. I think he was a great player at South Carolina, but college football is different, or I mean, NFL football is different than college football. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does in that offense. He is a little bit more athletic than Derek Carr, so maybe they do a little bit of that option play, play action, that type of plays for him. But I think he's a good quarterback to get him there, and you still have a great offense. I think right now what's lacking is also the defense is not able to keep up on their part of the bargain because they're getting burnt out by these teams that are just blowing them by. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. I think, in my opinion, I think I was overhyped on the Saints, and now they're kind of showing their true colors. And unfortunately, Derek Carr being gone, that kind of hits it at home.
Yeah, I think that, like you said, Spencer Rattler probably a good option, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints just start killing it with a different quarterback under center. No, I'm just kidding. I think they got the Bucks this week. I would think I would definitely take the Bucks. That defense against a rookie quarterback might be tough, but that is sucky for Derek Carr. I know this game wasn't the greatest for him, but he has been having a good start to the season. So it's terrible for the Saints, and yeah, they're on that 3-game losing streak now. They started off really well, but I think they played some tough teams. I remember Hunter telling me, like, because they played the Panthers week 1, and he's like, yeah, we got the Cowboys this week, Chiefs this week, and a bunch of other teams. So they're kind of going through that gauntlet, like Wes, you were talking about the Steelers going through. So that is tough for Derek Carr and the Saints. I think it might continue to be a lot tougher. I did want to mention another guy that we had talked about because it was a weird situation, Rashee Rice, where we didn't hear if he was going to be on season-ending IR or anything like that, and we thought he should. Throughout this whole week, they were like, they're still doing testing, all this different testing, seeing what he can do. But after all that, he is ruled out for the season. But apparently it's his LCL that he got surgery to repair, not the ACL. But yeah, he will be done for the season.
Unfortunate. That definitely broke out. I feel like towards the end of the season last year, and now this year, clear favorite,
number one
for the Chiefs. I did want to throw one thing at you guys with the Devontae Adams trade talks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
throwing that out there because Devontae Adams wants, from what I've heard, he wants to either go to the Jets or to the Saints to play with the two quarterbacks that he's always wanted to play with.
Yeah.
With the Derek Carr injury, how do you think that affects that trade talk?
You know, I talked about this with somebody just this week. I don't understand. I get it that he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is that good anymore. I think he's washed up. I'm getting irritated with this whole like Aaron Rodgers, especially the news that we'll talk about here in a little bit. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers has become that guy that has to have all the attention on him. He already has a great wide receiver who's young and Garrett Wilson that hasn't done shiz for him. Like you thought that, a lot of people probably thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be back this year. But that Ashwagandha or whatever the crap he was doing didn't seem like it cleared his mind. Like it just really irritates me because he's not doing anything for Garrett Wilson, as Jacobs. Ashwagandha, isn't that what it's called? What was he doing? Ayahuasca, something like that. One of those two. He was probably mixing both together, and now he's confused. But like, I really don't like.
He's the one that's confused.
I don't know drugs. Come on now, bro. I'm clean.
He came out of that black room a little different.
Anyways, but like realistically, I just don't understand Devontae Adams wanting to go to the Jets because if Garrett Wilson is probably. Can you guys say that Garrett Wilson is a better receiver than Devontae Adams, like right now?
Not right now.
No. I think he could be, but I think Devontae Adams would definitely make the Jets better. They're going to be like the two of them. That would open up their offense a whole ton. Having Lazard as your third option too would be killer. I think Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers have made magic. I'm against you on this, Faiz. You got to remember he plays for the Jets, and that franchise is cursed. So it's not really Aaron Rodgers' fault. Okay?
No, don't give me that bull crap.
But no, Aaron Rodgers is still good.
This is the same guy that says Brock Purdy's good.
Yeah, this is the same guy. He said Brock Purdy is good. I don't believe that crap.
I just know Aaron Rodgers on either of your teams, like instant Super Bowl contenders. Without a question.
I agree.
Without a question.
At the same time,
don't tell me this guy ain't good.
No, I agree.
Their Jets have been in a tough situation. Again, they've played some hard teams. I'll make that argument for them even. They went into an undefeated Vikings team, which we'll talk about in a bit. But 100%, dude, Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, that's just like, Joe or Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, how they both went off this year, this game. And having that real second guy, and I think Devontae Adams would be the number one, and also help Derek Carr get better. Or not Derek Carr, sorry, Garrett Wilson.
Go ahead, Wesley. Go ahead, Wesley.
Didn't the Jets just fire Robert Saleh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the big news. They ended up firing him, and their defensive coordinator. But
no, the defensive coordinator is the interim head coach now.
My bad. I thought they fired him too. But here's the thing. I think ultimately, I didn't think Saleh was actually a good coach.
Who did?
I think that system was just not meant for Aaron Rodgers. My personal opinion, and that matters more than both of your guys' is
Obviously.
that Brock Purdy ain't good. Okay, one. Second, Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Ashwagandha or Alaska, whatever you were saying. Whatever you were saying he takes. It's just not working for him, okay? I think that Aaron Rodgers is just, my thing is, if he could do it with Garrett Wilson, I believe that he could do it with Devontae Adams. I get the chemistry, right?
What about both of them?
Brad.
What about both of them?
Go to the Saints, man. If you want a quarterback that can actually still do it, that's Derek Carr.
What? Now you're just trying to piss me off. Now you're just trying to piss me off. Shut the hell up, man. Start talking real. That's just fucking stupid.
All jokes though, I still really think Aaron Rodgers is washed up. That was just push your button, but I really do think Aaron Rodgers is not.
If you want to go,
is not it. So.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where he ends
Aaron
up
Rodgers
going.
or Dak?
If he ends up going anywhere, because that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers all day, every day. For your future, maybe
I'll take
not,
Dak
but
at that point.
back to Wesley's original point. It will be interesting because now with the Jets, all the shit that's going on there, head coach being fired, Derek Carr being injured for a few weeks, while they're on top of a 3-game losing streak right now. You don't know. Maybe a surprise team comes in and finds a way to get him, but yeah,
You know who he would be
Jerry
perfect
Jones is
for?
definitely gonna make a move.
You know who he would be perfect for?
He could turn around a franchise that I'm thinking of.
hey, think about it. Then you can start Drake May.
Then we
He
could
would have
start
a
Drake
reason
May.
to.
There you go. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe the Patriots are already ahead of it. Start Drake May. Tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to get Devontae Adams. Maybe that's what's happening.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Feist, how did your picks go
Anyways,
this week?
let's go into my picks. This was a tough week for me. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. After everything, huh?
Hey, you know what? You can't win them all. Can't get all the points.
Okay.
You also can't lose any one week. And that's what happened to me. So this week, I picked the Seahawks as my lock, and they were 6-point favorites over the freaking dumb Giants. And the Seahawks end up losing in a 29-20 points game against the freaking who cares. Anyway, the reason why it was a blocked field goal, like they had a chance to, or I forgot what it was. They blocked something, and it was a huge. Obviously, it's a big upset because the Giants should have lost. And I should have had these 5 points.
Just because you picked the Seahawks or what?
Yes, exactly why. But I can't complain, boys. I didn't lose anything, but I didn't gain anything.
Oh yeah,
except I lost 5 points.
You lost 5 points on that one.
Yep. So I don't know your guys' thoughts on that, but I think the Giants are trash. They will always be trash. Daniel Dimes is trash, and the Seahawks should have won that one. I just think that the special teams came through for the Giants.
That was probably the surprise of the week. Honestly, in all seriousness, that was probably a really good pick. I think when you made that pick, I was like, damn it. Like, I wanted that. But,
yeah,
boy, any given Sunday, pretty much. That's all I have to say on that. Any given Sunday, a team can show up, except unless they're the New England Patriots. Then any other NFL team can get a win, I guess.
And the Browns.
Yeah.
And the Browns. Boy, if the Patriots happen to play the Browns this season, now we're talking.
Imagine that game. $20 lower bowl seat.
Let's go.
It's almost like watching a Panthers game. But no, the Giants, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about the Giants, man. They're so up and down and sideways, and they're all over the damn place. I just don't know what to even say about them. And then the Seahawks, I feel like they're just a very linear team. I feel like they've already hit their cap on like how good they can be.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That it's surprising seeing the Seahawks at the top of that division too.
Right? And even after losing this game, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And you know, Giants suck. Anyways, moving on. Here's why I'm pissed off at Aaron Rodgers. I just figured it out. So I ended up choosing the Jets. Jets. Jets suck. Aaron Rodgers sucks.
Exactly.
They were my underdogs. They were 2.5 points underdog against the Vikings. This was the London game. I think it kicked off like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock our time. I had a great turnout actually, but so the Vikings end up beating the freaking Jets 23-17. The Vikings didn't. In my opinion, I didn't think the Vikings had their best game. Like they've been having these past like 4 games before, and so but they somehow pull it through and are still the second undefeated team at 5-0. So F Aaron Rodgers, F the Jets, never picking them again. Oh, and then the big news Wesley already mentioned is that Robert Saleh has been cut. And it was weird because I saw a thing today that said he was blindsided. Bro, you suck at coaching. Like he came in apparently to the office as like a normal day, and then they
Like the
told him you're
Jamal
fired.
Adams meme where he
Yeah.
tried to open up the door and wouldn't open.
Wouldn't open. Yeah, like it literally. It feels like that's what happened to him, and then he got fired, and now defensive coordinator Jeff Albridge will be the new interim head coach.
Nice. Feisty, I think you killed that name.
Getting
Good shit.
getting better with these names, baby.
Hey, you know what? I know all the shit. I'm a believer in Aaron Rodgers, but this might have been his worst game, like, of all time. Aaron Rodgers is like notoriously known for not turning the ball over, and he threw 3 picks in this game.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the only difference. I mean, like you said, Sam Darnold didn't have that great of a game. He was 14 for 31, 179 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. And Aaron Rodgers, he was 29th through 54. So they didn't run the ball at all. They had 9 carries for Breece Hall, 5 for Braylon Allen. And, hey, the only good thing, Garrett Wilson, he finally popped off, showed up. He had 13 receptions, 101 yards, and a touchdown. But, yeah, a very uncharacteristic game for Aaron Rodgers. And I think I remember telling you I didn't like this pick because I think that the Vikings are really good. Their defense is crazy.
Yeah.
And even with Sam Darnold not having that good of a game, it's almost like similar to the Steelers where as long as you can do enough for us, a defense can hold you in it, keep you in this game. And I think that's exactly what happened over there in London town.
Yeah. Fucking Jets, man. I have Breece Hall on like 2 or 3 teams, 2 or 3 of my fantasy teams. Started off the season fantastic, and then they played the Broncos. Where did Breece Hall go? Then they played Minnesota. Then they go to play Minnesota. Where did Breece Hall go? Like it's just like they just completely ditched the running game.
Run game, yeah.
The last 2 weeks, they've just ditched it and are fully counting on Aaron Rodgers.
When you have 2 amazing running backs, too. Like, Braylon Allen is a hell of a second running back, and he's 20 years old.
Yeah. Didn't he have a good game like 2 weeks ago or something like that?
And it's a crazy 1-2. It's a crazy 1-2 punch, too, because Braylon Allen's a workhorse, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That dude will truck you.
Oh, yeah.
And then Breece Hall is just, I mean, he's Breece Hall, man. Like
Dynamic as
he's
shit.
He's a really good running back in this league, and they just, I don't know what happened. It's like they feel like they're already down 50 points by the time they walk into the stadium. You know what I mean?
Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh.
Game plan is ass.
That's the Jets, baby. Jets will do Jet things.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Not really, but for my points, it is. Good to see Robert Saleh. I shouldn't say that, but like he's not a good coach, honestly. So, unfortunate ending for them. And then Aaron Rodgers was like, "Yeah, I don't throw 3 picks. I never throw that much. Like just having confidence in himself." But there's another game where I picked the best team in Dallas, or as I say it, best team in Texas. I picked the Texans as my random. They were 1-point underdog versus the Bills. And then they end up beating the Bills 23-20, which was a freaking stellar game. It's good to see Stephon Diggs get revenge on the Bills, even though didn't look like there was really beef.
He did say in the locker room after, he was like, "You guys know how much this meant to me. I appreciate and love you all." So I think there was a little something. And then there's the meme. I think they're like Stephon Diggs side-eyed Josh Allen. So I think there's a little beef there.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but I've heard some weird stuff about Stephon Diggs, dude. Like, the dude is wild. They asked, there's that one where they asked him, "Who would you not want your sister to date?"
And the whole locker room said
it was
him.
like, not Stephon Diggs. And apparently, got freaky with Cardi B. Anyway, not football related, but the guy is like apparently a freaking playa, and good for them to win. I have Stephon Diggs on my team. I have CJ Stroud on my team. I'm looking forward to Mixon coming back this week, hopefully, and adding on to that mix. I think that's what they're missing out right now. Huge. But Eckler was able to do a little bit of something and, got a touchdown out of it for me. But I ended up just getting What?
0 points.
0
Yeah,
points.
0 points out of that. So
Whopping 0, Feisty. Nice job.
I ended up with the week with 0 points. Like I said before I started, can't win all the points, but you also can not lose all the points.
Well said,
If that
man.
makes sense.
That is very inspiring. I'll have to remember that going forward. No, I don't. The Bills actually played a really shitty game. I can't believe they were able to come back. That's the only good thing, NFL wise, for me this week is that the Jets and Bills lost. And if it wasn't for the dumb NFL scriptwriters, Patriots could have been the only team in the AFC to win this week. Instead, it's the Dolphins. But man, the Texans continue to kill it. I know they had that bad week against the Vikings, but I think they bounced back. They look awesome. CJ Stroud, again, dog. So, yeah, best team in Dallas, as Feisty likes to say. So, moving on, let's get into our pick'em standings and guess who gets to read them this week? The new
Not
leader.
this guy.
The new leader after Feist has a 0 point week, but I have a 15.5 point week. I get all of my picks right, and like I said, that 7.5 point.
For you, man.
Thank you. I am at 34.5 points now. Feisty stays put at 30, and Wes coming up from the dirt, trying to show some life at 10.5 points. Okay, he had a good week. I think about 8 points or so. So, yeah, those are the updated standings going into this week. Let's see how they might turn out for next week. I will start with my picks. The lock. Falcons, riding off a hot win over the Carolina Panthers. Feeling pretty good about that one. My underdog is going to be the Commanders. 6.5 point underdogs against the Ravens. Now, I know the Ravens are a very good team, but I feel like so are the Commanders. It is in Baltimore, so that's going to be tough, but I think the Commanders have what it takes to at least keep it close. So I like all those points. And then my random is Feisty's favorite team. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. 9-point favorites over the dog shit Browns.
You idiot. That's the one time you pick the Browns is when they play the Eagles.
Well, hey, let's get into mine this week, which for some reason I only picked teams that were like 3.5 favorites or 3.5 underdogs.
I just noticed that too.
But my lock this week will be the Buccaneers versus the Saints, who are 3.5 or 3.5 point
favorites over the Saints.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. The underdog that I picked was the Seahawks versus the 49ers, who are 3.5 point underdogs. And then my random is the Lions versus the Cowboys,
who are also
3.5 favorites.
Oh, what an idiot. An absolute joke.
Oh, feeling
With that
confident.
being said, I am going to start with my underdog. Pick the Cowboys. They are 3.5. Just kidding.
No
3.5
way.
underdog points against the Lions.
Homer.
Anyways, hopefully that game does not bite me in the butt. My
Probably will.
lock.
Don't worry
team
about
in
it.
Dallas.
The clip, just so we can save it. I already got you.
Yeah, there you go. The best team in Dallas, though, the team that I'm rooting for this year, the Houston Texans is my lock. They're a 7-point favorite over the dog.
Shit.
Pats.
You must have made that pick before you heard Drake May was starting. Sorry, can't change it.
I guess that's gonna have to not change my mind. And then my random, I picked the good old Bengals. I think that they have a revenge game against the Giants. They need to turn something around, and this is the game that they do. And they're 3.5 point favorite over the Giants. I want a rematch with the Giants, so that's why I picked this one.
Well, there you go. There you have it, friends. Wow, what a time. I don't know if we've ever been that heated at each other on this, but hey, I love it. That's what we live for. That's what sports are all about. So thank you, boys, for joining us. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Make sure to check out the episodes. Drop it every Thursday on YouTube and Spotify. Get you ready for the football week. And then make sure to check us out. Give us likes, follows, comments, share the page. Help us grow on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok Shorts. And then until next time, we'll catch you on the couch.